Right to Try is an incredibly popular initiative to give terminally ill patients better access to experimental drugs. It has bipartisan support across the country, but a bill that would make it the law of the land is stuck in Congress. Its sponsor is Senator Ron Johnson. Give us a thumbnail sketch of what Right to Try is.
It's hope. I mean, bottom line, it's hope for terminal patients that have nowhere else to turn. Specifically, all it does is it allows patients and their families to access a drug that has already passed phase 1, the safety approval process, the FDA, and it's still going through approval, which means manufacturers have no obligation to provide these, other than if they do provide it, they can only charge what it costs.
The idea is that they have nothing much to lose if they take an experimental drug and maybe it helps them.
It gives them some hope. It's not a panacea. It's not going to necessarily cure diseases, but we have absolutely cases where people's lives have been saved. One of the namesakes on Right to Try, Matt Bellina, former Navy pilot, has ALS.
I know it's probably too late for me. I made my peace with that.
And he has 2 drug manufacturers that have experimental drugs that would qualify. They will give him access to, with Right to Try, once they have that liability protection, they won't give him access to that under the expanded access program of the FDA. So Matt Bellina is saying a vote against Right to Try is literally a vote to kill me. I mean, he's putting it in that stark of terms. That's what he believes.
Right to Try then indemnifies or exempts from legal action the drug companies that do take part and allow this to happen.
It provides liability protection, not against willful negligence, but just liability protection for those drug manufacturers in case they offer a drug to a terminal patient and that patient dies. And trust me, these terminal patients will sign, stacks of paper providing those liability waivers.
What is the history of this type of legislation at the state level?
So just recently, the 40th state passed Right to Try. When it passes the states, almost 98% of state legislators that vote on this vote yes. Just a fraction over 2% vote no. In the Senate, 100% of senators. We passed this by unanimous consent. And then we moved over to the House and they didn't act on it until President Trump made that a priority in the State of the Union address in January of 2018.
I want to give them a chance right here at home. It's time for Congress to give these wonderful, incredible Americans the right to try.
I could not have been happier. I leapt to my feet.
Motion to recommit on H.R. 5247 offered by Mr. Pallone of New Jersey.
After the president's call, the House passed its own Right to Try bill. But the way Congress works, the House and Senate have to pass the exact same version before it becomes law. And so far, the House won't allow a vote on the Senate version.
People will not understand why Republican leadership in the House aren't calling this for a vote.
There are forces in the House, I can't identify them, that are trying to undermine this. I'm afraid that every day that goes by, those forces might become more and more successful. This is our opportunity. If Democrats gain control, it was Representative Pallone that lobbied against it, as did former Speaker Pelosi. So if the Democrats get control of the House, Right to Try dies, and that would be a travesty.
When you said Speaker Pelosi lobbied against it, what are the objections they raise publicly to this idea?
It makes no sense to me why anybody would be opposed to this. This is about freedom. This is about hope. But they say, you're creating false hope. You're giving patients false hope. I don't believe so. I have faith in the individuals, dying patients, to be able to make those decisions for themselves. And again, this is all about freedom. This is about providing people some hope.
We asked Nancy Pelosi, the Democrats' leader in the House, why she objects to Right to Try. We also asked House Speaker Paul Ryan why Republicans won't allow the Senate version to be voted on. Neither responded to our requests.